back. Let me see if I can get... I don't know why this is not coming in. There we go. Alright.
That's pretty dope.
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
It's
Episode
another day.
93.
Another day in paradise. Fucking working hard on a Thursday. Club went up on a Tuesday. And we got one more day until Friday. So,
Yes, sir.
here we go.
2 days until UFC 274. Talked a little bit about last week already. Chito Vera had a really good performance. Andrei Arlovsky had a good performance. Alexander Romanov had a good performance.
Cash me out.
Yeah, you did. I was saying earlier, you did much better than I did. I had one or two bets, smaller bets that hit, but you had Elkins on top of the other 4 picks that we had.
Yeah,
So
I took Philly out. I took Philly out of that one because I had Philly in a lot, and I put a lot on. Not a lot. I put more than I did on other tickets, so the payout was bigger. And the Chito Vera by decision, I put a unit on it last minute, which usually never works out, but it worked out.
Yeah, Chito by decision was a really good call. I was too stubborn to try to figure out what that was going to be. I thought that might actually get a finish.
Yeah.
Rob Font's tough, though. He took a lot of fucking beating. They both did.
Sean O'Malley ain't beating him.
There has been talks of Sean O'Malley getting a fight soon for International Fight Week.
So, I was just listening to a podcast with Chito Vera before he fought. This is like before like his this fight was booked, and he wanted to fight Pedro Munoz before this fight. So like when I heard Sean O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz, sorry, and I saw that and I was like, well, this is like the perfect storyline for them to rematch. You know what I mean? And it makes sense too.
I don't know. I think that Sean O'Malley, he was talking for a while about how he needs a new contract before he fights these top 15 guys. And granted, his last fight put him in the top 15.
Well, not so. Not. I listened to a podcast with him with Theo Vaughn, and he says that he wants to fight some better opponents so like he can have more leeway with his contract, with his negotiations.
Which makes sense. That's what I always thought he should do. I just know that he was sticking to that guns, and I don't know how long. Like, I don't know if he has 1 or 2 fights left on his contract. I assume it's coming up, though.
Yeah, I just listened to this podcast like a week ago, but he makes more money outside of fighting.
Right.
Because he has such a big name.
Yeah.
I know Twitch and YouTube, and he has podcasts as well. 2 podcasts, I think.
Right, exactly. And that's going to give you even more of a reason to want to have a bigger contract. Because if you're making $50K, $100K a month doing other shit, which I'm sure he's probably even making more than that, you don't want to go into the octagon for like 40 grand.
Probably makes around 50 with
Yeah, something like that.
a little more. Isn't this Sean O'Malley? And he does smoke weed a lot.
Right. He probably
He's a good person. He's like a good personality fighter. You know what I mean? Not Conor McGregor level, but still good.
But yeah, that fight is being rumored for International Fight Week. And actually, it depends. I don't know what you want to do because we usually finish off these podcasts right before the pay-per-view talking about the pod bet.
I'm down to
So I
talk
figure
about
that's
it. We can jump right in here. There's a lot to talk about straight up. Like,
so there's a lot of fights that are being announced though over the last week and a half. There's a shit ton.
I can't even keep up. Like,
well,
I was trying to keep up on Twitter. I can't keep.
I have them here. So
how does my camera angle look? Can you go back in there? I'm just
You're good.
Am I?
You're right on it. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Right there.
Where?
So we could either start with the fights coming up, or we can start with the pod bet.
Let's start the fights coming up, I guess.
All right.
So let's go run through them quick, honestly.
So we have 3 or 4 fights that are being confirmed, and we have multiple fights that are still speculated, but that
There's
have
a lot
been.
of fights to talk about. Oh my
All
god,
right.
dude.
So first of all, fight confirmed for International Fight Week UFC 276, Volkanovski versus Holloway, the trilogy. Fight is
announced
confirmed.
Today.
Fight is
5
confirmed.
hours ago. I was pumped. I go like our tweet.
What's your early prediction?
I don't know.
That's I don't know either. The second fight was so close. So close.
I'm
These are
gonna have to
easily
go
the two
Volkanovski.
best 145ers on the
I
planet.
have to go with Volkanovski. I ain't gonna, like, he has to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wins on the ground.
I don't know.
Because he does not want
in
to
the
stand
first
with
two
him.
fights.
In the
first two fights, they stood the whole time. Volkanovski didn't go to the ground at all.
He might lose because he was just saying about moving to lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
That division is the most stacked. Bantamweight and
well, that's featherweight.
Featherweight.
I would say
they're stacked, dude. They're stacked.
I would say those two are easily top 3. I would throw middleweight up there too. Middleweight has a really, really great. Their top 15 isn't as spectacular as other divisions, but when you look at their 15 through 30, like the people on the fringe top 15, it's so deadlocked with all those people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Volkanovski should take the win. I think Volkanovski's gotten better every single time I've seen him fight.
Yeah.
His fight, no one gave him Chan Sung Jung a chance, and that was probably well deserved because he was a replacement fighter anyway, and he was later on the card. He's older, but Volkanovski looked better than any fight I've ever seen him in that fight.
Yeah. He was impressive with Ortega too.
Right, he was super tough and overcame a bunch of adversity in that fight. And then you look at the 2 wars with Holloway, and you saw that his stand-up game is really fucking spectacular. And not only that, but he was able to, the reach didn't affect him. Like, he was able to go into the reach of Holloway and fuck him up. So,
Next.
I think Volkanovski wins in that too. I think that's going to be a great fucking fight. And in 276 in International Fight Week is going to be a really great card. All right, so the next fight that has been confirmed is Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. That fight's going to happen September 3rd, and it's going to be UFC France in Paris. UFC's first fight in France.
Yep. Cyril Gane's hometown. UFC's doing a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Recently, because COVID, I think, has released and like going to London and
right. They're going to London
doing one
later this year. They're going to Abu Dhabi and they're going to Singapore as well. UFC 281.
They're always going to Abu Dhabi.
Right. Well, they haven't since COVID opened up. I think they've only gone once or twice.
You're probably sick of it.
Right.
No, well, every time they fight there, though, it's been early fights throughout the year. It's awesome.
So Gane versus Tuivasa.
Are they going to what? Paddy Pimblett's fucking
London.
Hometown. Liverpool. They might be fighting in like.
Well, if they make another card in England, which I wouldn't be surprised the amount of sales and business that they've done so far, and coming up in July 23rd. Like if they made one at the end of the year, because Liverpool is not only I don't know if it's Pimblett's hometown, is it? Do you know that?
It's either Manchester or Liverpool.
I do know that that's Darren Till's hometown.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. Paul Craig, Meatball Molly.
Paul Craig's Scottish, I think.
No, because he was on the London card and he was from there.
I know he comes out fighting out of Scotland, but he might have hometown in England. I know that. He has the little blue.
I don't know why they. The last fight that they fought, they've had 4 British people on there.
Well, he's British, but he's just not.
That's what I mean. He's British, yeah.
So, what do you got for Gane versus Tuivasa?
What do I got?
Who do you got?
Gane.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I think it's a closer fight than people think.
Yeah, I think Tuivasa could definitely win, but I'm gonna go with Gane. No cap, like.
Tuivasa's kind of ran up the ladder faster than I thought he should have, and he had a favorable fight against Derek Lewis with someone of the same style. And now that he's fighting a guy who's not just looking for a knockout, he's looking for an actual great technical boxer in Gane, kickboxer. I think that he's going to be outmatched. I think this is going to look a lot like Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis.
I think it goes to a decision. I got Gane by decision.
It's going to be a 5-round fight.
Oh.
Right.
Maybe. That'd probably be where the money's at.
I think I'm going to take Gane in like this 3rd round. Maybe 4th round.
Tuivasa could keep his distance. They could go to the ground, dude. It could go. I'm gonna go Gane decision. Just stick to it.
Alright, so the next fight we have that is confirmed for UFC London 2, July 23rd, is Paddy Pimblett versus Abu Azaitar. Pimblett all the way. riding that motherfucker until he reaches some really good competition. Now that Azatar isn't, because Azatar's been in the UFC for a while. But I think Pimbla is...
with the new, out with the old,
Right. He's too much on momentum swing right now, and he's really more well-rounded than people thought. Like, I think a lot of people thought he was just a stand-up fighter, and he has 2 submissions in his last 3 fights. Obviously, he's only had 2 fights in the UFC, but his last fight coming before the UFC was by rear naked choke. So, I got Pimbla easily, and I think that UFC London 2 is going to be as good as the first one. I think it's going to be another crazy fucking card. Can't wait for that. Last confirmed fight we have is, actually gotta get this motherfucker's first name, because I just went through one of the Twitter feeds that I always go for the new confirmed bouts and all that shit, and I just saw this literally like 45 minutes ago. So Cody Garbrandt, after having a single stint in the flyweight division, is moving back up to bantamweight to fight Andre Yaya. Cody Garbrandt is 1-5. I think he's 1-5 in his last 6 fights.
He's winning this fight.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think he should. The only problem is if he's having problems with his weight and he's going back and forth.
He's bouncing back
right.
Too fast.
He peaked way too early. Like, he was one of the. I think he's the 3rd youngest champion in UFC history. 25 years old. Yeah, he defeated Dominic Cruz. He's the first person in the UFC to beat Dominic Cruz. And then he got the shit kicked out of him by TJ. And that's how TJ became champ. That was back in like 2012, though.
I'm just looking at the lines right now.
Okay. So that's the last of the confirmed bouts. Now we're going into speculative bouts. And there's a lot of these. I have it here as the second one, but we can talk about this first. Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz is being speculated for International Fight Week, UFC 276. Now, there was a photo that got leaked that showed a bunch of fights that are being speculated. And fights that are confirmed. Like, Strickland Pereira was on that leaked photo, and that is confirmed already.
It says to be determined, though. It's not written out, the Chimaev Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
It says to TBD in red next to it.
Which I just think means that Dana wants that to happen.
Yeah, to be determined.
Right. Same thing with the O'Malley-Munoz fight. Yeah. And the other fight that no one's even talking about, and we all knew this was the next upcoming fight, but Adesanya versus Cannonier was on the top of that leaked photo, which everybody knew was going to be the next fight for the middleweight championship, but we've heard nothing about anything confirmed.
I think it's been confirmed.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about it actually being confirmed. I know that it was on that picture. No. Nothing yet. But in, what was it, UFC 271, Adesanya beat Whitaker and Cannonier beat Brunson, and Adesanya, after his fight, said that he wants to fight Cannonier. So that fight just seems logical to happen soon. It's going to happen at some point this year. But 276, and what I find funny is that photo that got leaked didn't even have Volkanovski versus Holloway. And now today it gets announced that it's going to be that card. So you never know what's going to happen with the scheduling of these bouts. You know, shit can happen in one day that changes an entire card.
Diaz fight ain't happening, man. It's a good co-main.
I would never guess that fight was going to happen anyway. No. That was just blowing up on Twitter for a day.
Bro, that shit. It makes sense for him to fight him because he fought Conor. When Conor's name was being brought up, like, Conor wasn't like the biggest, not as big of a star as he is now when he fought Nate Diaz, but kind of makes sense for him to fight Chimaev. Chimaev's about to be this huge star, maybe.
It makes sense on paper.
Kind of lost a little traction, you know, but
I think it makes sense on paper a little bit. Rankings-wise, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, hey, man, dude, Chimaev could be triple champ.
Right. Chimaev's looking at that if that were to happen as an easy payday. Because I really do think that Chimaev beats Nate Diaz in maybe not the first round, but definitely I would take under 1.5.
Yeah, UFC needs to make another division.
What division is that?
162, 165, I don't know.
I can see that.
162 makes the most sense.
Right, 162 is right in the middle of welterweight and lightweight. I can see that happening.
It makes sense to make it like that weird weight, like a 162, because it's added after the fact. It's in the middle, like.
Yeah, right. It's right.
You're gonna get a lot less people cutting weight. Probably more double champs, because people are still gonna cut weight down to it. I'm suggesting, which would mean you'd have to make. I don't know what to think about that, but
it would be. It's something that I know other organizations do. Like I'm pretty sure UFC does it or something.
Yeah, they do every 10 pounds.
Right. And it was kind of weird. So the only reason that ever started, that they have the bridge from 170 to 155, to which I would also say, if you want to talk about adding divisions, a 177 makes as much sense as a 162 because you go from middleweight 185 to welterweight 170.
Yeah.
It's right in the division there too. Welterweight's such a weird place because it's 15 pounds away from both divisions, and you have.
Maybe that makes it so less people cut.
I think no matter what happens, there's going to be a lot of people cutting, because you get such an advantage when you're a bigger guy and you cut down to a weight that you're not supposed to be. That's what Colby always says about like Dustin Poirier going down to lightweight when he should be a welterweight. Like that's one of his talking shit points, that Poirier's not fighting at the division and Colby is fighting at the division he should be. But anyway, I would like to see a 162 division. I think that would make a lot of sense for people like Poirier, even for people like Conor, who always go back and forth between lightweight and welterweight.
Yeah, I think Conor.
I wonder who would be the champ. If you had to say right now,
Charles Oliveira wants that fight even.
Between him and Conor, I think everybody wants to fight with Conor. I think Usman even wants that fight. Usman definitely wants that fight.
Usman wants the Canelo fight.
Yeah, Usman does want the Canelo fight.
He knows that's where the money is.
All right, so we got a couple other speculated fights we got to get through. A fight that I just talked about, or we talked about a couple weeks ago, that got postponed or canceled, and a weight replacement came in, Renato Moicano. But Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev was supposed to be a fight night main event that Rafael Fiziev got COVID, and now that fight is looking to be rescheduled for June 25th, I want to say.
I got Dos Anjos, bro. I picked Fiziev the first time.
I don't know. I think I might have Fiziev. Dos Anjos looked really good against Moicano. He had 5 rounds, and Moicano got fucked up.
Fucked up.
But he had 2 weeks' notice.
Not fucked up. Like, he got annihilated.
He had 2 weeks' notice, and Rafael Fiziev is super young and one of the best prospects. He's undefeated, and he's going up against Rafael Dos Anjos, who, in my opinion, has had an easy-ish last 2 fights. You know, he had Renato Moicano, who's a really good fighter, but he was on 2 weeks' notice. And then he had a Paul Felder fight, who Paul Felder was also on. I think it was on like a month notice, so it wasn't as bad. But, yeah, I think that's going to be a really, really good fight. It's going to be really close. I'm excited to see that, and I hope that fight actually happens this time because I think it's a really good matchup.
Dana just dropped the trailer for the card.
The press conference happens at 8 o'clock.
3 minute video.
Nice.
Should we watch it? You want to react to it for the fans?
We got a couple things we got to get through. We got to still do these last couple fights, and we got to talk about the pod bet. So the 2 last fights that I want to talk about is the last fight that's being speculated for UFC Fight Night London 2, and that is Jack Hermanson versus Darren Till. This fight seems like it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Darren Till's been talking about he wanted to be on the last London card.
Confirmed. It's confirmed.
Is it confirmed?
Confirmed. Saw a thing about it. Definitely happening.
Oh, okay.
I think I tweeted at somebody that, yeah, I definitely did. I tweeted at somebody that confirmed it.
I think that Darren Till's going to get fucked up.
I
think Darren Till's getting fucked up by Jack Hermanson. I think Jack Hermanson's going to take down Darren Till. And I really want to see Darren Till because I think he's an exciting fighter. And he's one of those guys that'll talk shit. But I think Jack Hermanson's going to fuck him up. Jack Hermanson's had a bad skid in his last 4 fights, and I think he's ready to get back on track. The only part of me that thinks that Till's going to win is because these London fighters win in London.
He's been doing a lot of wrestling with Kamaev.
Kamaev.
One of the best guys to be training with right now. I'm going to go Till. and I know he's gonna be the underdog. Maybe not because he's in London, but
I think he'd be the underdog.
He should be the underdog.
I think it's going to be that much of a gap.
All right, so Costa and Rockhold.
Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold is being contracted by both fighters. Luke Rockhold already accepted it. It's now on Paulo Costa. That fight is like August 6th. August 20th. Anything to say about that? Luke Rockhold hasn't fought in like 3 years.
I got Costa.
Yeah. I definitely have Costa. That's if he can fucking make weight at 185, though.
Yeah,
it's the only thing.
Dude, I'm taking Costa. I bet the fucking house on him.
Alright, that's it for the fights I was going to talk about. Now we can talk about UFC 274. You wanna go ahead?
You want me to go ahead?
What do you think? Initial reactions. You know the big fights. I know we've already talked about it a couple times, but just want to hear your initial reaction.
We're not going to use the board. We got to. It's so. Matt Schnell is fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about this.
He's fighting Brandon Royval.
Brandon
Royval should beat the favorite.
He is the minus 260. Kind of like that bet.
Yeah, I
versus
definitely
Matt
like
Schnell.
Brandon Royval.
I like that bet. Chaos Williams, Randy Brown.
That is, I'm not personally touching that fight.
I don't want to touch it, but the numbers are close. I'm definitely going to sprinkle.
Who's favorite?
Who do you think?
Randy Brown.
Randy Brown's the underdog, plus 105.
Oh, so it's like really fucking close. Yeah. All right,
Well,
that's
he's
fine.
minus 125, plus 105.
Right.
It's a 30-point difference.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Cerrone, Joe Lauzon. People betting on Joe Lauzon, I think.
Well, you got the stand-up tough guy versus the jiu-jitsu expert.
Yeah, every time the line has gone down on an opponent, on a guy, they've won the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I got Cerrone.
That's going to be a really close fight. That's going to be a fight that I damn near want to bet the over 2.5.
Yes.
I think that fight will probably go over.
100% going over, and it is here, and main total rounds over 2.5 is minus... Oh, over is plus 135.
So maybe not pod bet, but that's definitely something I'm sure going on.
You can't combine them.
The other over that I really like, there's two more overs for this card that I really like.
I do like that over.
Shogun Hua versus Oven St. Preux. It's over, I think it's over 1.5.
Yeah, over is minus 155. Fight to go the distance, yes, plus 165.
That is very intriguing to me. Now,
That's very intriguing to me.
That's one of those you can't put anything else on that. You got to put a straight bet on that.
That is a straight bet. You
Right.
cannot. Yeah, that's a $100 beaner.
That's a $100 bet. That's a unit bet. Easy.
Or one. You want to win 200. You don't want to win 165. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you put 120.
125. Yeah.
Before we get into the really speculated one, I got Oliveira versus Gaethje. I think you do too.
Yeah, I do.
The over on that fight is 1.5. But the over is also minus 195. But I think that's
not worth the sweat.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it is. I think it is.
No, and there will be more. Wow. So the submission and TKO is the same.
I think that's alternate method, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's KO, TKO, DQ, or submission, all at minus 125 for Oliveira.
Yeah. That's an easy bet.
Gaethje plus 175.
That's a pretty easy bet for...
Charles Oliveira by decision plus 550.
Not touching that.
Justin Gaethje by decision plus 1,000.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way Gaethje wins by decision. Actually, I shouldn't say that.
I think Oliveira wins by submission. I'm gonna bet the minus 125.
I think Oliveira might be able to knock him out too.
Minus 125, bro.
Now, can you see what it is just for Oliveira knockout? Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure...
No, it is. It's the same for everything. Minus 125.
They don't have method and alternate method?
That is it.
It's so weird how they have just not been over the last 3 months. They have not been putting as many bets out. Like you can't parlay the over.
Oh wait, here we go. I'm sorry. You were right. Charles Oliveira by decision plus 550. Charles Oliveira by submission plus 130. And Charles Oliveira by KO plus 600.
Sprinkling on that.
That's worth the 25, 50. That's a 50.
Absolutely sprinkling on that. I like Oliveira by knockout. Oliveira has really underrated hands, man.
Do you put 50 on that and then like 125 on
Submission.
on the method result? Doesn't that cover your bet?
Yeah, I would think so.
And you still win? Yeah. Oh, okay. Alright, we just beat the bookie.
Sure.
So you put 125 by KO, TKO, and submission. No decision, because it's not going to
It's not going to decision.
It's not going to a decision. You got that.
And I'm taking the over 1.5.
You can take that. I don't think you can parlay it.
No, I don't think you can. Oh, you can?
You can't.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I knew that.
At minus 195.
Right.
You gonna straight bet that?
Yeah, I'll put $50 or $100 on that, yeah.
Oliveira by submission plus 130. How do you like that? It's gonna happen.
It's probably gonna happen, yeah.
That's what he did to Khabib. Or maybe he just gets on
Poirier?
the top of him. No, Khabib fucked up Gaethje.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Oliveira. Yeah,
No.
Khabib submitted Gaethje.
Gaethje's been submitted in full mount by triangle.
Like the guy, like Gaethje was.
He was in full mount and he got submitted in triangle. In a triangle.
When was this? This was before UFC.
It's before UFC. So that shit gonna happen.
This is a really interesting fight. Like I
We just talked about the betting aspect. We're not even really about the fight.
We're really selling Gaethje short here because Gaethje truly is one of the best boxers in this division.
Good leg kicks, man, but
he has amazing leg
kicks. You can't leg kick when you're on your back.
Right. And
Dude,
I think
Oliveira takes his back, dude.
And I think Oliveira takes him down in the first 3 minutes. Gaethje has good takedown defense. Like Khabib got stuffed on 3 takedowns against Gaethje. 2 or 3. It might only be 2.
Listen. Oliveira beats Khabib.
Stop it. No, he doesn't.
Yup.
No.
Hot take.
No.
You gotta have these hot takes.
That's a very hot take.
You gotta have these hot takes like Stephen A. Smith.
All right.
Oliveira beats Khabib.
How? When?
How?
How long does it take?
Do you want to know how?
Yeah, I do.
The black belt.
Mm-hmm.
The third stripe. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
There's just he can submit people on his back.
That
and
fight
Khabib
is going to the ground
not good
within
at
2
striking.
minutes.
Khabib's not a striker.
He's not bad at it.
He's not good.
Knock down Conor.
Yeah, poor. Yeah, we can talk about that punch too if you really want it. Awful technique. Awful. Punched with his head down. If Conor just backed up and didn't get hit with that, he could have got clocked by a left or right.
Mm-hmm.
He could have gotten kneed.
That's part of his game plan, though. You're so scared of getting taken down. As soon as you put your head down, you're waiting for that takedown, and then you have the overhand come that you don't see.
Oh yeah, he had that all in his head in that one punch. Yeah,
Sure he did. Sure that was part of his game plan.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
But Oliveira versus
definitely not in the game.
Oliveira versus Nurmagomedov.
That is a fight.
I really think that's the only fight that gets Khabib out of retirement. There was some talks on Twitter about GSP versus Khabib in a wrestling match. Did you see that? No, it's not happening. I think the only fight, and I don't think Khabib ever comes back, but the only fight that I ever could see him coming back for is if Oliveira not only beats Gaethje, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Oliveira beats Gaethje, you know the next fight that's going to happen, right? You know the next fight.
I'm just looking at this number.
It's Oliveira versus Makhachev next.
Oh yeah, Makhachev is going to lose.
That fight is very interesting to me. That fight is so
We've talked
fucking
about it, and I've
interesting to
said
me.
before, Islam Makhachev is going to be the future lightweight champion. I've actually called out that he is going to be the lightweight champion by the end of the year, but dude, Makhachev isn't good at striking either.
Kachev's decent at
He's
striking.
not good at striking.
But yeah,
he takes people to the ground.
He's devoted his life into sambo and into wrestling, and when you do that, you don't
and
have
like this guy, you get Oliveira to the ground, dude. It's definitely an interesting matchup, but I think it's just one of those things. Like, no matter who Oliveira faces, you're gonna say it's close every time.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who he faces Benil Dariush. Probably more slided towards Oliveira, but you're still gonna say Benil Dariush has a pretty good chance if he gets on top of him.
Benil Dariush is a big 155.
He's a big motherfucker. Dude.
He's one of those guys that can go to 162.
Yeah. I think, man, dude, he has better striking than Islam Makhachev too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Oliveira has the
defense and the attack. The way that he can attack on defense is something that should be noted, and he knows it too, and people know it. People know it.
All right.
And he knows how to defend grappling too.
2 more fights, and I gotta tell you, this fight that I'm gonna talk about has gotten closer in my mind over the last week. Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza.
All right, Carlos Esparza, 6-2 when she's the underdog. 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
I tweeted today. It sounds a lot better, 6-3, but that is worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
She's plus 175.
Carla Esparza is the best wrestler in the women's strawweight division. Rose Namajunas has good wrestling defense.
How'd she do versus Shevchenko?
Carla Esparza?
No.
Rose?
Yeah.
I don't think they ever fought.
Oh, wait.
That's
thought they
flyweight.
did.
That's flyweight division.
Oh.
Rose is one division lower.
I don't think she's going to...
Rose Namajunas has good wrestling defense, but not great. Like, Weili Zhang took her down for a little bit in their fight.
Yeah.
Carla Esparza's entire game plan is to take Rose down every single round.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a problem for Rose.
Yeah, Paulo Costa wilding out on Twitter, bro.
Yeah, Paulo Costa. Yeah, he did.
Wilding out on Twitter.
Paulo Costa is a Twitter goat. As of late.
God. He is crazy.
Um,
Savage.
but listen, Thug Rose should be able to knock out Carla. But if Carla can take her down every time, and not only that, but wear out Rose, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I might bet Carlos Esparza instead of Rose, dude. And
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put Rose on the pod bet because I really, in my heart, I think that Rose is gonna win. You don't want to put Rose on the pod bet anymore?
I don't think so, dude. I don't think. Bro, the times that Carlos Esparza's won, she's been plus 175, plus 180. What is she?
Plus 180.
I think I like the tweet.
She's plus 180 right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's
a close fight. It's a fight that I think Rose is gonna have better wrestling defense than we thought because she trains with Usman and Gaethje, and they both have really great takedown defense. So. And I mean, it's probably the best camp in the fucking world.
I'm looking at it right now. You know what I mean?
took her down.
Everybody wants Rose to win too. Everybody, every UFC fighter, every UFC bettor wants Rose to win. They think she's really good because she just beat Weili Zhang twice. A girl that can take people down to the ground. She got lucky on a head kick.
In my
Can we
opinion,
say that? Can we say that?
I will totally agree with you, and I'll even take it a step further. I think that Rose got lucky in her decision in the second fight. Each judge had, I think, 48-46.
Yeah.
And I would not have been surprised if it was a split decision. I thought that it was 47-46, or whatever the fuck it is. The judges had a 49-46. I thought it was 48-47. And I wouldn't have been surprised if Weili Zhang won the second fight, but you have to beat the champ. I think that was really the main reason.
You gotta beat the champ,
Right.
And
I think Carla Esparza has the ability to do that because she can take her down at least 3 rounds. She can take her down and hold it down.
decision.
I'm putting money on Carla Esparza by decision.
Alright, so when is the last time a champion has lost by decision?
The last time, I can tell you one that I remember right now is Kamaru Usman beat Tyron Woodley by decision to win the belt.
Okay.
That's a great question. There's been a lot of finishes for championship fights, hasn't it? So let's look at each division champ. Ngannou won his title by knockout second round. Teixeira won his title by submission second round. Adesanya won his title over Robert Whittaker by knockout second round.
Yeah.
Kamaru by decision. Lightweight, Oliveira beat Chandler. And Khabib won his title against Iaquinta by decision. So we'd have to look at when Khabib won versus Usman won. Featherweight, Volkanovski beat Holloway by decision. That probably.
So it is possible. This is what I was all getting at. So it is possible for a champion to lose by decision.
Right. And I would even say that Volkanovski-Holloway won was a close fucking fight, and Volkanovski still won by decision. That's the only close one I can think of.
See, you
could even say... Oh, no, Aljo won his by DQ, so you can't even say that. Davidson Figueiredo. That's the closest one. Davison just won by decision in January when he beat Moreno. Like, you know how they flip-flopped the title?
Okay, yeah. I do think Esparza could win this fight.
I'm putting money on Esparza by decision. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I don't think we should touch on Rose, dude. And Rose's numbers going up.
Esparza by decision is plus 250.
Rose's...
Wow, that's not as good of a number as I thought it was going to be. Holy shit. Esparza by submission is plus 1200. Although I don't think she submits her. If anything, I think she ground and pounds her.
By submission plus, by decision plus 250?
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's not bad. It's not what I thought it was going to be.
I put $100 on Chio Vera plus 275.
Right.
Payout's 375. I'll tell you, I don't give a fuck. You know?
Rose by TKO, knockout, or DQ is plus 200, by the way. Rose by decision plus 170.
Oh, Carlos Esparza by plus 250. Carlos Esparza by KO plus 900. Could happen, bro. She gets her on the ground. Could submit her plus 1200. I don't know what Carlos Esparza's jiu-jitsu background is, but...
She's decent at jiu-jitsu, but she's a wrestler. Like, she wants to take you down and ground and pound you. She's not looking for the submission.
Okay.
You know, she has them in her repertoire, of course.
Are we going to be betting method results? This one? Like Donald Cerrone and Joe Alzon? Like, that's a good... That seems like an easy...
I don't know if that's an easy one. I think each of them could finish the other. I really do. Like, if you look at it... Joe Lauzon by submission is plus 750.
I know, it's just looking at that. I wonder if... excuse me, I wonder if Mark has the inside scoop.
I haven't heard from Mark in months.
Yeah, no, he's moving to Arizona, so... Tucson, it's a place that he's never seen move. Tucson, Arizona. Shout out, Mark. Rob told me. Hope you're listening, buddy. Love you. Yeah, he's moving to Arizona. Good for him.
I didn't know that. How long?
Going to school there. He's going to move to Japan. So, shout out, Mark. And wish you the best, bro.
Alright.
Back to the fight.
We got one fight we haven't talked about that we need to fucking talk about, bro.
It's the one to talk about.
Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. Now, everybody's smart money is on Michael Chandler. Tony Ferguson's lost his last 3.
Is it smart?
I'm gonna say why it's not smart.
3-fight skid, 4-fight skid. All right. Michael Chandler's lost 3 fights in a row.
2.
3. Tony Ferguson 3.
He's lost to Oliveira and Gaethje.
All right. Why did I?
If he loses this fight, he'd be on a 3-fight skid. If Ferguson loses,
okay,
he'd be on a 4.
Okay, yeah.
And, I mean, you hate to see either one of them fucking be on that. But listen, they have both lost to the top 2 fighters in this division. And then you look at Ferguson, and he's lost to 3 of the top 4 fighters in the division. It's not like they're losing to fucking chumps.
Yeah, but damn it, Michael Chandler only won against Dan Hooker. And nothing against Dan Hooker. But Like, my God, Dan Hooker, you look bad.
But if you look, but turn that around and you look at Tony's last fights, his last 2 wins are against Donald Cerrone and Anthony Pettis. Not taking anything away from them.
Anthony Pettis is a good one, but definitely outdated.
But he was getting out of his prime. Like, Anthony Pettis is doing really good in 1 right now, but he's 38 years old. And Anthony Pettis dropped Tony as well, by the way. So, I'm going to say this right now. I'm absolutely putting money on Tony because of his fucking number. There's no way I'm not putting a $20 parlay with Tony on it.
It should be that high.
There's none.
There's no excuse. I was talking about it the guy where it's a 50-50 fight.
I think it's a
Slightly
little
favored to Michael Chandler, we were saying. But all in all...
It's like 55-45.
Yeah, maybe 60-40. But it's a 50-50 fight. Like, plus 300, minus 380.
So do the bookies want you to put money on Ferguson?
They want you to lose money on Rose and Michael Chandler. And it makes sense because it's in the main event. It makes sense. So if there's 2 fights that are losing, it's those 2 fights.
That's one of those... I'm not putting either on the pod bet.
But if Tony
if you don't want to put Rose on the pod bet, I'm fine with that. Like,
I'm not putting Tony Ferguson on the pod bet.
No, Rose.
It's almost worth putting the spars on it.
I'm not putting the spars on the pod. Pod bet's locks. Pod bet is locks. There's not a whole lot of locks in this card, by the way.
There's a good bit of gambling in
There's
this involved, too.
Not a lot of locks. Oliveira is not even a lock.
No, but you're still betting on him. Lock's a lock, but when you can't even put a fucking under-over on it, and you can't even parlay an under-over, you know, maybe you sprinkle a couple.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta make that bigger. But fuck it. It does look nice. It does look nice.
Pod bet. Oliveira.
Oliveira. I already have it.
Can we really not combine over-unders?
Can't do it.
Brandon Royval.
Yeah. Oven St. Preux.
I don't want to touch Owen St. Preux.
No?
I think either one of those guys could fucking
I
win.
kinda like Oven St.
I like Owen St. Preux, but Shogun Hua is Shogun Hua. You know, he's one of the greatest light heavyweights of all fucking time. Granted, he's getting older, but he's both old. So we can't put the over on that fight is what I really wanted to hammer. The over for St. Preux and Hua is 1.5.
You shouldn't.
And I want to hit that fight for a decision.
If you're at the bookie.
Another fight that
cannot be combined.
Another fight I'm gonna look at. I don't know if I'm putting on the pod bet, but Blagoy Ivanov is fighting Francisco de Lima, and Blagoy Ivanov is gonna win that fight, heavyweight fight. That's something to look at.
The Lima guy sounds familiar. Is it Trinaldo?
No.
Francisco Trinaldo.
It should be de Lima, or just look for Ivanov.
No, not on here. Maybe they just don't have it listed.
There it is. It's Marcos Rogerio.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Ivanov is -155.
Oh, fuck me, it's on here. I thought you said Francisco.
Is it not?
No, it's Marcos.
Oh, you know what?
Marcos Rogerio versus.
You know what? That's a replacement fight then.
Oh shit.
And Ivanov's only -155. Let me look up Marcos Rogerio real quick. Oh, no, it is. I'm totally wrong. It's Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I'm mixing up Francisco de Lima with someone else.
Oh.
So de Lima beat Ben Rothwell and Maurice Green, and he lost to Alexander Romanov. That's a decent fucking record. I'm not going to lie to you.
He's the underdog.
Knocked out Rothwell.
He's the underdog.
He got subbed by Romanov, and Romanov's been tearing up the whole fucking... But you look at Ivanov, he's only been fighting top 15s. And he goes to decision every time. This guy... Oh.
He beat
this guy.
Tuivasa.
This guy is one of the best chins in the UFC history. He goes against heavyweights. He goes to decision every single time. Lost
Ben
to
Rothwell.
Derek
Been tweeting
Lewis.
at him. Shout out Ben Rothwell.
Beat Rothwell, beat Tuivasa, lost to Derek Lewis, lost to Augusto Sakai. So he beat a top 15er, and he lost to 2 top 15ers. I like Ivanov in this fight. And I might even like it in decision, because he just always fucking goes to decision.
Yo, you see who liked the tweet today that I was in with Ben Rothwell?
No. Bellator liked it? Nice.
Yeah, Bellator MMA. Like the Bellator
Yeah.
MMA. You don't even follow them.
So, Ivanov is like a decent bet to add to it, but I don't know. That's a close fight, so I don't know if I want to throw it on the pod bet. You really can't fucking add over-unders to it, huh? That's gonna fuck up the pod bet, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna really fuck it up. Are we throwing Tony Ferguson on the pod bet?
Dude. I don't even...
Yeah, you can't. That fucking sucks, dude. Why is the sportsbook doing this? It pisses me off. You just don't want to get fucking taken again. You're fucking them up on pod bets. They took the over-unders up.
So we just have two.
You just have $2. Donald Cerrone, I think, is going to beat Joe Lozon.
Yeah, I want to bet on Donald Cerrone on there.
You want to throw Cerrone on there?
Yeah. We're at plus 245 right now.
With Cerrone?
Yep. You put Carlos Esparza on there.
I don't want to put Esparza on there.
Plus 867.
That's a nice little $20 parlay, 25.
You put Tony on there?
Yeah, right. And
Ready?
Tony and Esparza. Yeah, I'm looking at the number.
Tony, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the number.
Holy shit. Holy fuck.
That's a nice little 5-teamer. Also, I'm going to throw a little bit of money on Macy Chasen. She's the underdog against Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont is like a lot younger prospect in the division. People think she's going to go far. But Chasen has been in the top 15 for a while. I think that she might be able to beat Dumont. Just throwing it out there now. 3805, fuck. Andre Fiallo is another fucking name. That should be on the pod bet. He's minus 420. He just beat someone, and he barely lost to Michel Pereira. This guy is a top
Michel.
15er in the welterweight division.
Oh, yeah, put him on. Plus 460.
Fiallo just beat Michael Beza, knocked him out in the second round, brutally, fucking brutally. And he's minus 420, so I'm down to put Fiallo on this. Yes.
Yeah. I got Ferguson, Esparza, Royvallo, Cerrone, Oliveira. Plus 4,691. So, you bet your candy ass I'm putting $50 on it.
I'm putting $50 on it. You want to know what Ferguson is? Just that?
No. I'm putting Rose on a bunch of tickets of mine, and I'm just having Esparza by decision on another ticket. You know what I mean? So if the parlays hit with Rose, I'm fine. If Esparza wins, it's gonna be by decision, and I make.
I don't like that.
Anyway.
I'm not a big fan of that. But do you?
This fight, we were talking about this fight. We were all excited about it, but now that we're looking at it, like this is really. There's a lot of close fucking fights on this card.
Alright, so Oliveira, Royval, Ferguson, Andre. Plus 1,000. Plus 989. I don't know if it's worth the sweat. I'll put 90. It's a long pause.
I'm just pissed that the over-unders aren't able to be parlayed. That's what I'm pissed about.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do some more talking about it. We're already over time. So, like, good
You
thing.
got somewhere to be.
Well, I was going to hit the casino tonight to put in fucking bets.
Are you going tonight?
Yeah, I was going to. But,
Damn, Ferguson was at plus 380. Now he's only plus 300.
I know.
It's crazy, bro. People hammer.
Chandler went from 420 to 380.
Yeah.
Rose started at minus 180. Now she's minus 220.
Yeah, I think people might lose some money.
I think Rose is going to win, man. I really do. I'm going to put Rose on a bet with the rest of the pod bet. So let me look at that. I really don't want to put fucking Tony on the pod bet, man. We really shouldn't.
No, I'm not doing it.
Alright, so if I go Oliveira, Fiallo, Royval, and Namajunas, it's plus 296. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. Macy Chasen can get thrown in there. We have a couple prop bets we like. Joe Lozon by submission is really good. Donald Cerrone by decision is decent. Open St. Preux by decision is not fucking bad at all. You're looking at plus 300.
Yeah, it's a lot of decisions, though.
Fight to go the distance between Hua and St. Preux is plus 165. That's really good.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. Fight to go the distance is plus 145. Ferguson versus Chandler over 1.5 is minus 155.
You think that goes to decision? I think so.
Yeah, I do. Unless Tony... I don't see Tony getting finished.
I don't see Tony finishing Chandler.
Exactly. So I think it's going to go to decision.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
I think it's worth betting Tony Ferguson by decision.
What's Brandon Royval over? The over's a fucking... Dude, all of these overs are underdogs. Over 2.5 for a flyweight fight between Royval and Janelle is plus 115.
Crazy, I know.
Fight to go the distance is plus 155. This might be the first UFC pay-per-view that I'm hoping that there's a lot of decisions. Because I'm going to bet on a lot of decisions. Alright, that's really going to do it. That's all we really got time for.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be putting the pod bet up on Twitter. We're going to be figuring this out over the next 2 days, and on Saturday we'll be doing that. Make sure you tune into the UFC 274 live reaction stream that we're going to start from 8 p.m. all the way to 1 a.m. UFC 274 is going to be a really good card. We're going to stay through for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be going back to the basics. I'm going to be having the stream here. I don't know if you're going to Tico's or not, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And we're going to have episode 100 on June 23rd. So make sure people stay tuned for that. We're going to figure something out, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Go check out all the MMA Complete Podcast stuff. We got a website coming soon. Our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. Go follow us on our Twitter at complete_MMA. That's all I really got. You got anything?
Don't be surprised if Rose loses, and don't be surprised if Ferguson wins. That's all. You know, to put your... I don't know who's listening, but be careful where you put your money. Don't want another weekend like last weekend with Andre Philly.
It's going to be an interesting card now.
Yeah, it's going to be a good card.
I got a feeling it's one of those cards we're going to have like 6 or 7 parlays and only one's hitting.
Yeah, but I'm honestly going to be be betting on decisions
Me too.
and finishes.
Me too, for sure.
So, yeah, I might be betting more, but I'm not going to be putting more parlays in.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of straight bets this week.
Yeah, and plus the Bruins are on that day, I think. And
You going to bet against them?
Celtics, yeah, they're losing that series.
They're getting stomped by the Hurricanes, man.
But I think the Celtics have a good chance of winning the series 4-2 at plus 700. So, yeah, that's it.
Alright, that's going to do it for us. Go check us out at complete_MMA on Twitter and go follow. Make sure you tune in for the UFC 274 live reaction starting at 8 p.m. on May 7th this Saturday. Thanks everybody tuning in. We're out of here. Have a good night.
Later.
Alright, there we go. Boom, boom.